everyone. Welcome to Cisco Live. Thank you. I need the phone. So as Toby said, I'm the CTO for commercial and small business. And that's a funny term because many small businesses may not think that Cisco has a portfolio for them. They may think, and I would understand it, that Cisco, being the large technology vendor that we are, make technology that is too complex, too expensive, or too difficult to buy and too difficult to install for them. But actually, that's not true. Sure, some of our products are exactly those things. They are too big and they are too expensive and too complex, but some are not. And I'm here today to talk about the subset of our portfolio that we have built and curated specifically for small businesses, which we have called Cisco Designed. It's the right price, the right feature set, the right size. It's easy to buy, it's easy to install, it's easy to manage and support, and it's thus perfect for small businesses. I'm going to explain all of the technologies that exist in that portfolio that enable them to connect to networks, secure those networks, collaborate with their customers and with each other, and to use and compute their applications. So let's get started. First of all, let's start with this little person. This is our small business user, and they want to get onto the network, or their employees want to get onto the network. But before we let them get onto the network, we need to make sure that they are who they say they are. One of the easiest ways to hack into any network is with a weak password. 81% of data breaches happen for a weak password. But more than half of small businesses say that actually they don't have any password control policy in place. So what we need to do is authenticate the user. And authenticating using only one password, one method of authentication, is clearly not enough. We need two or more. And that's called multi-factor authentication. So it's authenticating a user with a password and a PIN and another product and in some other password sort of way. So you have more than one method of authentication. And the way we do that at Cisco, in the Cisco Designed portfolio, is with a product called Duo. We bought it for over $2 billion a couple of years ago, and we authenticate users for our small businesses before they even get onto that small business network. Then we need to let them on the network, and the first thing you're going to hit when you get to a network is the wireless network, the Wi-Fi. And we have a number of choices because it's our ethos here at Cisco that no matter what size of customer you are, whether you have a preference for cloud or a preference for on-premise, we have a product for you. So if you're a small business customer, we have the following. If you have a preference for on-prem, we have on-prem access points called the Cisco Business Range. Fun fact, the Cisco Business Range actually has 30,000 Instagram followers of its own already. But what's really great about it is that they are new access points that were launched just a couple of months ago. They're the smallest form factor Wi-Fi access points in their range. Very simple to install, very small, very easy to install and easy to manage. They're at a price point of around $120. They have mesh extenders, a full feature set, and a really good range of access points in that $120 and above range for the small businesses. And at the next Cisco Live, being held in Melbourne in 2 months, we'll be launching a mobile app to manage those access points also, making it very easy for customers. Now, if a customer prefers cloud, and many small businesses do, then we have the Meraki portfolio. The very ethos of Meraki is simplicity. It has to be simple to install, simple to manage, simple to monitor. And the way they do that is with a Meraki dashboard in the cloud. And when you buy access points or switches or routers, as you'll see, they connect to that dashboard, and you can manage and monitor them, requiring very little IT expertise, which is often a feature of small businesses. So you can see there are a couple of the smaller MR Meraki access points that will connect to that dashboard. But if you are an even smaller business and you have, say, 50 employees or less, you probably want something even easier and even simpler to install than that Meraki. And that is where we come in to Meraki Go, the true low-end small business portfolio for the customer that has 50 employees or less and prefers cloud. Now, rather than me just tell you about Meraki Go and tell you how easy it is and how fast it is to install, I'm going to invite someone up stage to show you. So please welcome on stage the product manager from Meraki Go, Lee Peterson. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. So, Lee, we would really like to show how fast and simple it is to install a Meraki Go wireless access point. So the challenge is, I'm going to give you a completely brand new, unboxed Meraki access point that arrives in the post for a small business user, and I'm going to ask you to set that up as quickly as you can, and I'm going to time you to do so using my stopwatch, because we want to see how fast you can go from a box arriving in the post to a working Wi-Fi network. Can you do that for us?
I think so. I think I can do that.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Hi, Barcelona. How are you doing, everybody? I'm here today to talk to you about Meraki Go, which is our newest small business offering. We took, like Sarah mentioned, a lot of the simplicity that Meraki is known for and that we stand for, and had to reevaluate some of the assumptions we make as part of that. You know, what is simple to an IT professional is not necessarily simple to a small business owner who has no idea what an SSID is, or what DHCP stands for, or even what an Ethernet cable is. And so really, this is the essence of that, everything the customer needs in this box to be able to get up online and running. Can we change the screen over?
Can we change the screen over, please, to take a look?
So the way we do that is by using the Meraki Go app.
And just to say that what we're doing right now is showing you on screen the screenshot of Lee's mobile phone with the mobile app, correct?
This is the actual mobile app being used, which we're going to use to install this access point right here, which we've just taken out of the box.
I've started the timer. No pressure.
So the first thing the customer will do is download the Meraki Go app. We have some instructions here to guide them on where to get that, available for iOS and Android, obviously. And we even tell the customer how to plug this thing in. They've never done anything like this before. To take the intimidation factor out of setting up this sort of technology, we give them very guided step-by-step instructions to do so. So take the device out of the box, remove the mounting plate. So they have the option to wall mount this. We have the power supply. We have everything they need right here in this box to get connected. The next thing we do is we want them to add this device to the network, right? So something traditionally that would rely on ordered kit numbers or serial numbers having to be manually entered. With Meraki Go, what we actually do is we take a QR code on the bottom of the device, just to show you this is live, that this is not, I'm not cheating. We can just look at the device here, scan the QR code, and that'll add that device to the customer's network. Within this process, we want them to name the devices. They may be adding multiple devices, not just a single device. So we're going to give this one the name Cisco Live. For that access point. Now we're going to look at the step of plugging this device in. And so again, like I mentioned, the customer's not done this sort of thing before. We need to give them a very simple set of instructions to follow. We also explain to them the difference between mesh and hardwired access points and where they might want to use each of those, and point out, of course, that at least one of these has to be hardwired. So I'm going to take this access point now and connect it here. We have an Ethernet cable that's providing PoE, so these can be either powered over the included DC power adapter, or we can use PoE to power them.
So just to be clear, if a customer has Meraki Go or Meraki, they get PoE, and that PoE will power this access point as well as connect that to the internet.
Now, because the last thing we're hitting the 2-minute mark. The last thing anyone wants to do is sit here and watch this thing to turn on. You know, why don't we let them get on and do some more setup? So within here, we can actually connect, and the customer can choose to watch this, so they want to wait and see this device connect. It's connecting to the Meraki cloud, and as part of that, we upgrade the firmware, and we push the correct configuration down to this device. So customers never have to think about, am I running an older version of firmware? Is my security compromised because I've not flashed this to the latest unit? We take care of all that for them. But what we're actually going to do here is skip through that. We'll let this happen in the background, have the push notification to tell us when the device is ready, and then let them get on with setting up their first Wi-Fi network. So quite often with these sorts of devices, you take them out of the box, you plug them in, and they advertise an open SSID that anyone can connect to and now get on your network and be able to compromise your devices. So we actually want to guide the customer and make them set up a secure network. So in this case, I'm going to set up a SSID for Sarah to connect to. We're going to give it a very simple password.
I always wanted my own network at Cisco Live. That's how you know you've made it.
Making your dreams come true.
Thank you.
We're going to create the actual network there. And so not only have we set up that Wi-Fi network, we've also given the customer the ability to share that with other people that may need access to it right here throughout the app. So this is connecting to a network that already has some devices on there. So Sarah mentioned some other parts of the portfolio. We're looking at the wireless access point here, but we also do have switching and a security appliance as part, or a security gateway as part of this portfolio. And as you can see here, that access point I just set up is already connected. I've got a green light here on the device, and I can see in the application that it's connected, up and running with that SSID we just set up. You can look on your device and see if you can actually see it.
Should I check? So we're at 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Can you just show that? And if anyone wants to just check this, you can go to the network, and you can see that the network's error is available. Yeah, 4 minutes and 1 second. So if we stop there. So in 4 minutes and 1 second, if only you'd just done it 1 second quicker, we went from a box coming through the door in the post to having a Wi-Fi network set up with so little IT knowledge, literally my mother could have done it. Is there anything else we need to know about Meraki Go?
So some other things the customer might want to set up. Typically you want to set up multiple different networks for your employees to connect to, for guests to your business to connect to. And one of the ways we make that easier is by making a set of assumptions about how the customer wants to actually set these up. So within this network we just set up for Sarah, if we decide that wants to be a guest network, rather than have the customer have to know, well, how should I set a guest network up, it's as simple as hitting the slider, and we do some smart things you would expect a guest network to do. For instance, devices on a guest network can't talk to other devices on my network. They can't talk to each other. So it's simple things like making the set of templates of how we set that up that the customer can be able to get online and be able to run that device like that.
And thank you, Lee. The most important thing is, what's the price? Is it in the small business customer price range?
So the starting price for the access point is $149 US. I won't translate it into euro or pounds for you, but it's in the ballpark of being something that represents good value to these small business customers.
So it's $149. It's a one-off price, no license, no subscription. You can keep it forever, and it will be supported forever, all for that first purchase of $149, yes?
Correct.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Lee.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. So you can see how easy it is to set up that Wi-Fi network. And now at the back end of that Wi-Fi network, we've got to talk to the LAN. We've got to have a switch. And we have the same stack. For the cloud preference customer, we have the Meraki stack. It connects to the same Meraki dashboard. You see here some of the low-end Meraki switches. If they want the on-prem, we have our small business portfolio, like the SG350. Over 100 million ports of small business switching from Cisco has been sold in the last 5 years. Fantastic switching portfolio. And for customers who are small businesses, but maybe slightly bigger small businesses, or no matter how small a business they are, they still want the Cisco Catalyst brand, and I can understand that. We do have 64% market share with the Cisco Catalyst, and some customers want that. We have the Catalyst 1K, which is the lowest enterprise switch for them. And as Lee said, if they're a Meraki Go customer for Wi-Fi, if everything you just saw is exactly the same for switching, and you can set up a switch just as quickly using the same mobile app on the same device. We still haven't got you on the router onto the network yet, though, so we need a router. Same stack. Meraki Go, Meraki MX, and the on-prem routers. The MX is actually a security UTM, which has routing functionality in it, ideal for the small cloud customer. Meraki Go is the router that connects to the same app. And then the RV345 is one example of an RV router I have put there. The RV router, and please bear in mind routing is what Cisco has always done. The RV routing is our Cisco Business small business portfolio router, but it's the best in class by a really long way. As an example, 3 times the speed of IPsec throughput of any other router in its class at the same price, 650 meg throughput. The RV router also has a 16-port integrated switch on it. So for a truly small customer, they don't need a switch and a router. The RV345 will do both. And some of the other security features that I've shown you have also been integrated onto it. So our small business routing portfolio, like the RV, really is leading industry class. So we want to get you onto the internet, and we've got the network to do it now, and we've authenticated you are who you say you are. But before we let you on the internet, we need to make sure that where you're going is safe and not malware. So what we do is we're going to do that by using a product called Umbrella. An Umbrella is a DNS lookup that checks that when you type www.something.com, we will go and check that it's a safe place to go. It's not going to return with malware. It's one of the best-selling security products in the small business space at Cisco. And we do it. We go off and check that that address is safe for you and route your traffic there, but without any delay. Quicker, in fact, than Google will route you there. We then need to put you through a firewall. And for that, we have two firewalls. We have the ASA, which has been our firewall for a really long time. But in the last 12 months, we launched the next-gen firewall, which basically means it's a firewall that's coded to secure applications, because, of course, that's what the world's about. And for that, in the small business space, small business size and price, is the Firepower 1010, and that's the router. We will then take it even further, because if, despite doing that, we do let any malware through, because perhaps it's a new virus that hasn't yet been found, we will remember we let that firewall through. So we will remember we let that malware through. And a couple of hours later, if we see that it is indeed a virus, we'll come back and tell that small business customer, we let a virus through earlier, here's how to remediate. That's called advanced malware protection, and it's also in the small business portfolio. Of course, not all small business customers sit in the office all day. They're out and about, they're traveling the world, they're working from home. If they're really good, they're working from their yacht. And so we need to enable them to connect to their network in the same secure way from wherever they are. And the way we do that is by establishing a VPN tunnel that connects them into this security network from wherever they are. That's AnyConnect. And it ties in to the Firepower 1010. It is also integrated into the RV router that I mentioned earlier. OK. I need to just take us off at a tangent for a moment to talk about security, because the point is, OK, small businesses can buy from Cisco, but why buy from Cisco? Why buy from a large vendor? And the answer is precisely because we are a large vendor. As we increasingly use AI and machine learning in IT networking, bigger is better. Because the more intelligence we get, because we've got more boxes out there and we've got more customers and more market share, the more intelligence that comes back into those AI engines, and the more intelligence we can therefore deliver to a customer, even if they're a small business customer. And therefore deliver intelligence and AI that a small business customer couldn't actually afford any other way. That's precisely why to buy from Cisco. And a great example of that is security. Because watching all of us right now, overlooking the internet right now, is an analytics engine called Talos. It's a security intelligence engine, massive analytics algorithm, and about 550 people. And it's watching, and what it does is every single security product out there, and not just the Cisco Designed small business products you see now, but literally every security product that Cisco makes, and all of them that are out there for all customers. We are the largest security vendor in the world. Every time they see a breach or a piece of malware, a virus, ransomware, spyware, any kind of malware, it tells Talos up there in the cloud. And Talos, in return, then uses that intelligence, computes that intelligence, and tells every other security box out there in the world. So if you're a small business customer and all you bought was one Firepower 1010, then you will get that same intelligence that the Bank of America would get for having an entire security network with Cisco, because you're talking to the same Talos, and it's getting all that intelligence from everywhere else. So however small a business you are, and however few products from the security portfolio you're buying from Cisco, you get that intelligence of the largest intelligence security engine in the world, precisely because we're a large, big vendor. It's the power of Talos, which is why, because we're so large and we have such a market share, we actually block 20 billion malware threats every day. And our nearest 5 competitors, which you can see there on the chart, put together, block less than 10% of that. That's the value of a large vendor such as Cisco. OK, so we've now got this wonderfully secure network. We've connected and we've done it securely. But before I move on to compute and collaborate, there is one other product I'd really like to show you. Because if that customer was a cloud preference customer, and they had that preference for Meraki, that same Meraki dashboard that manages the network will manage something else called Meraki Vision. And you may think of Meraki Vision as a CCTV camera, but there's so much more than that. And to show you how much more and how clever it is, and again, how much it benefits from the AI of this enormous dashboard, in the cloud with a large vendor like Cisco, please welcome on stage the product manager for Meraki Vision, George Bentink. Hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi. So what we'd like to do, we're here for a small business focus. So we'd really like to show the audience today a small business type CCTV camera that I know is more than just a camera. It's a sensor with a camera in it, and you're going to tell us about that. So what can you tell us about it? And first of all, how small exactly is this camera?
It is really small. So there you go.
So it's pocket-sized. So if I can just show that. So this is the small business camera that we're going to demonstrate to you today, and again, demonstrate how easy it is. It's a fisheye lens, right?
Yep.
So one camera in any premise is all that a small business will need. Let me hand over to George, and he'll show you what's great about it.
So if you're not familiar with the Meraki camera, essentially we've tried to get rid of everything else that you needed to have a camera system that works. And that's because we put everything you need in the camera. So you don't need a server, you don't need anywhere to store your video, and we don't use your WAN to upload the video either. And that's because everything, all the smarts and all the storage is in the camera. And we've been able to do it because it's basically built off the advances of the mobile phone industry. So this camera has 256 gig of storage in, it has an octa-core Snapdragon processor, and all of those sound like incredibly great specifications, but what does that mean? It means you get a really simple, easy-to-use security camera where you can just have one for your small business, and it will secure it, while also giving you some really cool analytics. So we're going to go look at that demo now. So can we go to the demo, please? So I'm logged into the Meraki dashboard. So if you have some of those other Meraki products, you will see them in the same interface. You don't need to go and do anything else to start working with your camera. And we're going to go to a small retail store in San Jose. And I'm going to go back to, let's say, Thursday, and I'm going to go look at noon. So one of the things that is really useful about cameras is you can see what's going on when you're not there, or somewhere that's really far away. So this camera is in San Jose, and I've connected, and I'm looking back in time, and I haven't needed to do anything to make it work. I don't need a VPN. I don't need a special type of connection. We create an HTTPS connection to the camera for you, so you can watch video from anywhere. And so we have a small restaurant chain, for example, where the proprietor wants to make sure that his employees are making the food correctly. So they just put one camera in each kitchen, and then he watches the chef, making sure they cook the food according to the standard he's set. So not a security use case, but just that very simple visibility allows him to know what's going on. So we're watching this, but I want to get into more detail. I just saw that lady walk through that door, so I want to find out who else has walked through that door. So I can go and search this area, and if I scroll down, I get these incredible composite images. So these take all periods of time, cut them into pieces, and assemble them as one frame. So you're looking here at 30.1 seconds displayed as one image. And all of this was done in the camera because the camera is so powerful. And so then we're like, OK, well, I want to see this. I want to see what happens. So I can hit play, and it's now going to play that video for me. And we can sort of see these guys walking around. It's much slower watching it in real time. But maybe we want to sort of go in and track them. So we can start watching these suspicious people here. But now they're splitting up. But with this one camera, we can see to the very back of the store. And if we come around here, we can see to the very front of the store. And because everything is in the camera, if you just want one, that's fine. But if you want more, you want 5, 10, that's also fine. You never throw anything away as you grow or if you scale down. So the last piece I want to go through, because it touched on certain things Sarah was talking about, which is the power of a big company, and this idea of bringing analytics, especially machine learning for artificial intelligence to play, is that we also do machine learning for computer vision in the camera, again, with no servers and without sending your video to the cloud. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go look at one of these days here. And the graph you're seeing here is the camera's detection of people using its object detection algorithm. So what's useful about this? Well, you may not care, but it allows you to do much more advanced alerts for a security use case, or it allows you as a retail customer to have some understanding of when you should open and when you should close. And I want to sort of finish with probably my favorite story, because it's on a topic that I'm quite keen on, which is this idea of democratizing AI. AI is in the hands of these really, really big companies, and it's quite hard to get that incredible technology providing an advantage to the smaller customer. And so we have a customer that is a library, and they bought some Meraki cameras for safety. But because this technology comes in the camera at no extra cost and with no extra servers, they were able to use it to understand how busy the libraries were. And that was important to them because typically they got their funding by looking at how many books they'd loaned, how many CDs they'd loaned, how many DVDs they'd loaned. But people don't take those things out of the library anymore, but they still go there for the Wi-Fi, they still go there to use the computers and other things. So you don't think of the library as this cutting-edge area of technology, yet by embedding this artificial intelligence in the camera, it means even the smallest or low-tech of customers can get advantage from it.
Thank you, George. Thank you. Oh, I've lost my mic. And I want to pick up on this low-tech customer because it is a feature of some small businesses that they don't have a lot of in-house IT experience. So the camera needs no IT knowledge.
Needs no IT knowledge.
It has no back-end systems, nowhere that it gets stored. It all gets stored on the camera. No back-end infrastructure, no cabling, nothing more than that camera that you got out of your pocket today.
That is a good point. I forgot to say that they're all Wi-Fi. So we are not magic. You do still need electricity. But if you want to connect them to Wi-Fi, all of them are Wi-Fi. And sort of going back to that point about how easy they can be,
yeah.
My 75-year-old dad has a few of these at home.
There you go.
And when a van drove into his fence, he was able to find out what happened without my help.
So the innovation was worth it. Yeah. George, thank you very much, indeed. Thank you. OK, so we've connected, we've done it securely, and we've added this nice, great little feature of a sensor in a camera with Meraki Vision. Now we need to use applications. Every business of any size uses applications to run its business. But it's unlikely that most small businesses would go out and build their own data center. They probably use a public data center and probably also have some private in that they probably run some applications in the branch called hybrid data center, a bit of public and a bit of private. So let's have a look at that private data center. They're not going to build a data center, but how do they run those apps in the branch? Well, at Cisco, we've had for a long time the UCS portfolio. Over 55,000 customers already have UCS compute servers computing and running these apps out there in small businesses already today. But the industry moved to hyper-converged, where we put together the compute and the storage into one box. And the Cisco solution for that is called HyperFlex, and it was way too big for small business customers. So we brought out HyperFlex Edge, a smaller two-node version, perfect for small business customers who, with just one box, want to run any applications in their branch and store the data that goes with it. But you've got to manage that. And again, it's about doing it simply because you have low IT resources, and you want to do it as cheaply as you can, but you also want that clever intelligence of AI that comes from a large vendor. And so that's what Intersight does. Intersight sits in the cloud, and because we have such enormous market share, it's collating all the data of all of the HX Edge and all of the HX and all of the UCS servers that are out there, and it's taking them up into that Intersight cloud. And what it's doing is it's very simply giving back commands and direction on how to best manage your network. So if you have no IT skills, you get that AI which keeps getting bigger and better all the time as more and more devices are connected to it, to go back to a small business user to say, here's what to do with your network. Here's how to make your compute efficient, a little bit more efficient. It's even been integrated with Alexa so that you can say something as simple to as Alexa as, tell me how my network is running. And Alexa will tell that small business user how well and how efficient their compute network is running. That's Intersight. Again, this is why to buy from a large vendor like Cisco, because we have 450,000 devices out there being managed by Intersight right now, collecting intelligence and becoming more and more intelligent about how to run networks as I'm standing here. From an app dynamics perspective, if you're a small business user, let's say you're a pizza delivery company, and your business is an application where people order a pizza using an app on that phone, you want to know how well the app is running because that app is your business. And to do that is app dynamics, and you can buy as few licenses as you like for that. So it is as relevant for small business customers to understand how well their app, i.e. their business, is running when their business is an app, which is often. So that's our compute. That enables them to compute their applications and run their applications. But we also promised we would enable them to collaborate. with each other and with their customers. And we have a wide portfolio of products in our collaboration space that enables them to do calling, meetings, messaging, have video endpoints, have phones, have headsets, have dongles, all these kinds of things. And any small business user could go out and buy all of those things from lots of different vendors today. But to show you the benefit of why to buy them all from Cisco, please welcome on stage Mark Needham. Come on up, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So Mark, talk us through, what is the value of buying all of those things from Cisco from one vendor?
Well, one of the big changes we've made of late is we're moving the entire collaboration platform onto the single platform. So what do we mean by that? Is there are 5 critical collaboration workloads. You've got your meetings, your messaging, your calling, your devices, and your contact center. And by bringing them all onto the single platform, there are a number of huge benefits. For the users, it's a common UI, a common experience across the entire portfolio. From an IT perspective, you'll have a single point at which you'll apply your integrations via the cloud APIs. You'll have a single point where you'll apply your security and compliance. A single point where you'll have all your management and analytics for the entire experience. And finally, you have a single point where you'll have the application of AI and machine learning, what we call cognitive collaboration.
Okay. And so you talk about cognitive collaboration, which is our term for AI and machine learning and clever collaboration, if I can call it that. Now, I've talked about the benefit of having a large vendor like Cisco that provides more and more AI because of our dominant market share and because we're such a large vendor. What does that offer customers in the collaboration space?
So it's a massive topic for us. So the last few years, we've been building more and more AI and machine learning into our collaboration experience. And some of the most recent acquisitions we made included CLEUR and A Company. And what we've done with those acquisitions is really built AI natively into the single WebEx platform. So I'm just going to give you a taste of a couple of those highlights very briefly. So what CLEUR brings to the experience is intelligent translation and transcription. At the end of a meeting, it will package up and summarize what's just happened in that meeting, what the transcript was, the recording, what the actions were, when they're due by, who said what. So all that's within a single platform. Additionally, that acquisition allows us to enhance our voice assistants, so OK WebEx, to control your meeting experience. And with the A Company acquisition, this is about how you build greater affinity and greater rapport with the people you're meeting. So it will go out onto the internet and pull business-relevant insights about the person you're meeting, what they said in an annual report, when they spoke at an event. It will also pull through information from your Active Directory, so you haven't got to go into your intranet to find out what your phone number is, Sarah, when we're in the office. But the really important thing is you own that information. So Sarah can unsubscribe, you can edit, you can enable which elements of that experience you want, so it meets all the requirements for GDPR. And the same applies to companies as well. It's not just about individuals, it's about the companies you'll be working with additionally. Now, the final element here is some of the ways we've used AI for quite some time now is within facial recognition within the meeting experience. So you know everybody that's in the room. Equally, it does people counting. So you look at your optimization of your spaces. You've got no meeting rooms, but you've got 5 people in a room for 10. What do you need to do? Build some walls. So that rich insights that allow you to drive your organization forwards and be more successful holistically with collaboration.
Okay, sounds fantastic, but a key requirement for the small business portfolio is that it is in the right price range. Some people will be sitting there thinking this sounds very expensive. Is it?
Not at all, and we hear that sentiment quite a lot. There was a time where to get started with collaboration in Cisco, you'd be spending hundreds of thousands of euros. You'd need a massive on-premise infrastructure. But now with all the workloads moving to the cloud, you can start for zero. So you could go to webex.com now, and by the time this session's finished, download the fully featured enterprise-grade WebEx meetings experience via webex.com. And then as you wish to have greater abilities, you can add that into the experience online and direct. So that's what you need for the software experience. But then you're also going to have your meeting rooms, your meeting spaces in your offices. And we've got a whole suite of products which have been designed to take into account the needs of small business. We do have at the high end video endpoints that cost hundreds and hundreds of thousands. But when we look at smaller businesses, there are a couple of key products which are really, really popular. The first one of those that we've recently launched is our 700 series headset. This is that luxury blend between what you use on a plane, so when you're in a cafe working from home, and when you're at your desk paired with your phone or with your laptop. Equally, this pairs with our video endpoints. So this is the Desk Pro, which has just been launched and we're demoing on our stand. So again, all these are designed for small organizations in mind. What you also have, for any space with a screen, we have the WebEx Share, where you can wirelessly share with the same consistent WebEx experience in each and every room.
So you can just plug that dongle into the back of any screen in the office and start sharing.
Exactly. Straight into the HDMI and you're good to go.
Yep.
And also then when you look at a more video conferencing experience, this is the RoomKit Mini. This is our entry-level video product that has the same full experience as what we put into executive-level boardrooms. And this is very achievable for smaller organizations. And in fact, this week there'll be announcements which make this even better for small organizations. And finally, when it comes to the hardware, we have the WebEx board. This is a single experience that does whiteboarding, co-creation, iteration, full video, and everything you need to drive entire projects forwards.
Okay, so it's in the right price range. Is it also easy to buy? If everybody wanted to go out and buy one right now, how do they do it?
So as you've already said, you can go straight to webex.com for your software. And there will be some times where you're looking for more of an integrated solution, maybe something that's a bit more complex. And that's when we're directly to our partner network. So in Europe alone, there are 30,000 collaboration certified partners. Within walking distance of where we are here, there are 5 that are certified for collaboration and working with smaller businesses.
Brilliant. Mark, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark. Okay, so I'm going to finish with 2 final points. Let's make 2 points. The first one is, as you look there at that full Cisco Designed portfolio, we're not just a networking company. We've enabled customers to authenticate users, connect to a network wirelessly or with switching and routing, no matter what their preference, cloud or on-prem. We've made sure that where they're going on the internet is safe. We've run them through a firewall. We've remembered if we've let some viruses through earlier and we've gone back and told them, and we've allowed them to do all of that from anywhere in the world. And then just to make it even a little bit more clever, we've added a camera with a sensor and AI in it that suits the small business portfolio. We've enabled them to compute their applications in the branch, and again, manage that from anywhere that they wish in the world using Intersight in the cloud to manage their compute and how they're running their applications. And we've given them App Dynamics, which tells them how well their app, their business, is running. And then we have the full collaboration suite that Mark just talked about. And the first of my points is this. At no point at doing all of that did we have to go off to another vendor. We stayed with Cisco the whole time. Every product that we just went through is the Cisco Designed small business portfolio. They don't have to go off and review 20 different vendors. It's entirely within the Cisco Designed portfolio that is right for them. It is the right level of simplicity, the right price, the right product, the right feature set, the right level of complexity, and as you can see, can be done by your mother or your grandmother in many instances. But it was all in the Cisco Designed portfolio, one vendor. And that's the power of Cisco. Here's the other power of Cisco. The other thing that we talked about as we went through that is we showed you that small, it needs to be simple. Simple to install, simple to manage, simple to operate. But it isn't stupid. And with a vendor and the power of a vendor the size of Cisco is how you get access to that intelligence that a small business otherwise couldn't get. Through Talos, through the Meraki dashboard, through the AI in the Meraki Vision cameras, through the intelligence that Intersight is collating. And it's all happening while we're sitting here. And it's precisely because we are a large vendor with the market share we have that our intelligence engines get to be so intelligent, that our machine learning is so effective, and that our small businesses can have access to that in all of these ways through the Cisco Designed portfolio. And that is what Cisco has designed and what we have made possible for small businesses. Thank you very much for listening.